Today we're going to break down this really powerful framework from Bishop Vanessa Byrd. It's all about how to do what she calls mental maintenance. A way to clear out all the clutter when your mind just feels totally overloaded.
You ever have that feeling like you just have way too many tabs open in your brain? You're trying to juggle schedules and worries and what you need to do tomorrow, and it just feels like everything starts to slow down and buffer. I think it's a feeling we can all relate to, right?
And when your mind gets that overloaded, it really starts to show up in some specific ways. Maybe you find yourself getting irritated over the smallest things, or you feel completely overwhelmed by a simple to-do list, or you're just mentally tired, even if you got a full night's sleep. Some of us even get anxious when things are totally calm, or we get stuck replaying the same negative thoughts over and over. These are all little red flags that it is definitely time for some mental maintenance.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. Bishop Byrd points out that just because it's a new year or a new week, that doesn't magically reset our mindset. If we don't actively take the time to clear out that old mental clutter, well, we're pretty much just setting ourselves up to repeat the exact same patterns.
So that leads to the big question. Why does this mental maintenance thing even matter so much? Well, think of it like this. We all know we should get a physical to check on our body's health, right? This is the exact same idea, but for our mind.
The core idea here is really simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Your mind is the control center. It's the starting point for literally everything you do, everything you think, and everything you feel.
And you can really see just how central it is when you break it down. Your decisions, how you react when something unexpected happens, your overall attitude for the day, the quality of your relationships, and that feeling of inner peace. All of it, every single thing, flows directly from what's going on inside your head.
So here's the bottom line. When your mental state is cluttered or just feels out of balance, that feeling spreads like wildfire. It's why one single worry can cast a shadow over your entire day. If your mind is off, it's pretty much guaranteed that the rest of your life is going to feel off too.
Okay, so now that we get the problem, what's the actual solution? This next section is all about the core practice for clearing out that mental clutter. It's called the mind dump.
But first, let's just quickly define the big picture goal. Mental maintenance is the regular, ongoing care of your mind. This is not a one-time fix. It's a consistent practice that helps you stay clear and centered, kind of like how regular exercise keeps your body healthy.
And the key tool for doing this maintenance is the mind dump. This is the actual process of getting all those swirling thoughts, those worries, those to-do lists out of your head and onto something else. Could be a piece of paper, a journal, even a notes app on your phone.
Oh, I love this analogy. Think of your mind like a computer's operating system. If you're running on an old, outdated OS that's filled with last year's junk files and clutter, you're just going to keep hitting the same bugs, the same triggers, and eventually you're going to burn out. But when you do a mind dump, you clear out all that space. You're basically upgrading your whole system, creating this new territory where you can actually receive new ideas and move forward with some real clarity and confidence.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's get practical. This next section breaks it all down into a really simple 3-step process.
The framework is called the 3R method, which is great because it's super easy to remember. Recognize, release, and redirect. All right, let's look at each one.
Step 1 is to recognize. This is all about learning to see those feelings, like irritation or anxiety, not as some personal failure, but as what they are. Warning lights on your car's dashboard. They're just signals telling you, hey, something under the hood needs your attention. It's all about having awareness without any judgment.
So, once you've recognized that thought or feeling, step 2 is to release it. I love this visual from Bishop Byrd. Your head is not a suitcase. It just wasn't designed to carry around heavy burdens 24/7. This step is about making a conscious, intentional decision to put that weight down and let it go.
And finally, step 3 is to redirect. You can't just release a negative thought and leave a big empty space there. Your mind will rush to fill it with something else. So this step is all about intentionally turning your focus towards something constructive. You can ask yourself, okay, what should I be focusing on instead? Or what's the most productive thing I can think about right now?
All right, so that brings us to our final section, guarding your peace. This is about taking that 3R method and turning it from something you do once into a sustainable, long-term practice that really sticks.
Because the ultimate goal here isn't just to feel better for a moment. It's to fundamentally change your mental habits. By consistently practicing this kind of mental maintenance, You can actually break those old repetitive cycles of worry and anxiety and install new, much healthier patterns of thinking.
And this, right here, is the key takeaway. Peace isn't something that just happens to you. It's not the default setting. It's something that requires active protection. It requires effort. You have to guard it, and this whole practice of mental maintenance is exactly how you do that.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is just one thought, one worry, or one pressure that you can choose to release from your mind today?